Hey guys, the previous video we completed for the toggle and it actually looks good, and now I want us to dive into the input to actually see how that is going to look like. Okay, so yeah, so far this is what we have for our components. So for our input, as we always do within our CSS, right, we are going to have our input.css. Okay, so we have input.css, right? Now our input.jsx, it's pretty limited. Okay, there are many things we have to put into consideration for our input that we have not really put into consideration while doing or working on our input. Okay, now within our input.jsx, right, we have let's visit our design to actually see what we have. Okay, input.jsx, we have just basically or just returned like the blank password, but now we need to make it more visible as per se. Okay, like we did for our toggle, we're able to toggle things on and off to make it more lively. All right, so now what we will do here is we are still going to make use of our use state and our use effect. All right, now I'll start by defining it. Once the input is the password is visible and once it's not visible, so I'll have the visible and this. Okay, we did the same thing when we're working on the toggle. So if there is something about this you don't understand, this drop your questions in the comment sections and we'll get to it, and I'll make a video for this such that you understand how to use effects and all that. Okay, because it's a very fundamental concept in React that you actually need to understand. So I'm going to just set visible and say if it's not visible, that's for the password. Okay, now we're checking mostly for the input reference. Okay, which gets from the current focus naturally. So now we are not actually returning anything, so use state is not defined. So normally if you want to define that, you always add here to say use state and use ref. Okay, now this video is not going to actually explain to you use ref or use ref. Okay, but just put in your mind that they are actually hooks. So I'll just structure this again more better the way we did for our toggle. We have a section. Within that section, sorry, I'm going to put my password within my section here. And now our section has its own rules. So within our password, okay, let's see our design. So yeah, that's not defined, we'll get to that. Let's see our design. Design is taking a while to load, so let's see if we can have this here on UI design daily. Okay, so the input type, once it's clicked here, is visible, and once it's input is not visible. Okay, now for that particular logic, um I'm going to use some icons known as ion icon here, so you can always check on it. Ion icons, I really love this icon so much. So yeah, ion icons are very easy to be used. So now I'll just have another div. So my div, I can give it let's see, I'll just have my div, give it a class name like the main container div, okay, where the other ones are going to align to it. Then now I can have my div where I'm going to put in my ion icon. Most of the times ion icon is like this. The more you use it, the more you are versed with it. So I already know the name of the particular icon. Okay, so it's a lock closed outline. Now you have to check if it's visible, it gives text, not visible, it gives a password. So our input here, okay, you have an input type of, sorry, you have no, you have to check if it's visible. Okay, if it's not visible, you have text, then you check password. Now can use ref input ref. Seems like we have an issue somewhere. Okay, that works. Now this one is visible, okay, for this section. Now this is a container, so since we know that this is the input part, right, we're going to style it differently. You can give it a name of container input. Okay, now if this is not visible, okay, we'll have a button again with our on click. Okay, our click function, which is always going to check if it's visible. Okay, now we are going to perform the similar perform similar action. Okay, sorry about this. I have an issue here. Okay, that works. It will check. All right, if this is visible. Okay, okay, check on the ion icon. Excuse me. All right, ion icon name. Course, don't be surprised that I know these names already. Okay, it's because I've been practicing on them, and you can easily get the exact name by visiting the ionic icons. Okay, once you visit the ionic icons, you can select the exact icon that you want here. Okay, and once you click on maybe this, let's just close this. Once you click on something like that, it copies. Okay, see the ionic name, airplane outline, and so on and so forth. That's how you use the web component code in your program. Okay, but now I'll not waste much time on that. I'll just go directly into it. So I know or even icon. Now the name of the other is I of outline. Okay, then I think that works. The passing error somewhere. This happens when you, okay, let's see what could be wrong here. Okay, basically compiled successfully. Okay, now that we have this, have our input.css here, but now for this to work, we have our app.css, and as always, we'll copy this and duplicate and call it what? How are we going to call it? Input.css. Okay, now let's, all right, so we have our input here, stuff like that. So now what we have for our input.css, we're going to do like some, let's see, this, we have this, and I'm going to put this here. Then our input.css will be at the side to make sure that things are going in a symmetric manner, such that we are doing it stepwise to make sure that we are on the same track. Okay, so firstly, what do we have here? We have a section here. I want us to style our section first before actually looking into that. So our section does not necessarily have a class name, but now we'll need that, because without a class name, the whole section will not really have a particular structure. All right, so I'll give it a class name here. Sorry about that. It's okay. I want the whole section to have its own, and then we'll have one more step to go. All right, so we have class name. Our section will have a class name of, let's call it section input. Okay, now that section input, we are going to style it accordingly as for it to meet the required expectation of our designs. So for that particular section input, or just basically, we don't have much to style. I'll just give it like the same margin of 0.5 rem. Okay, then the text, the section input that we have, so give it its own margin. See, that looks much better, but this was not necessary. Okay, now the input container doesn't actually look the way it has to look. So what can we do with the input container? Let's see. Container of the password. This needs to be adjusted. So we have section input. So let's check. Let's see if we can adjust the size of the container. So we have a section input. Then we have the container within it. All right, just maintain the margin of 5 rem. Let's see for display of flex, then flex wrap. Let's see if we align our items center. I'll give it the height of, let's see how that is going to look like. Okay, that looks better. So the next video we're going to complete the stylings of this input field. Thank you.